My cousin ruined my Nintendo Switch, so my brother made sure he regretted it. My cousin Mike lived just 2 houses down from me, which would have been great if Mike wasn't an asshole. But my mom and aunt were extremely close, which meant that I was constantly forced into play dates with him, even though we were both in high school. Mike liked everything his way, and if he didn't get it, he would throw a fit like a toddler. If he wanted to have the last cookie, he got it. If he wanted to play on my PlayStation, I was stuck watching him ruin a save file. And if I ever complained to my mom, she would get angry at me and tell me to be a better host and cousin. But Mike crossed the line. He was in my room, snooping through my things again. Mike held up one of my Batman comics and scoffed, "You really read comics? Fucking nerd." I roll my eyes and go back to drafting my book report. Even homework was better than dealing with him. That was when my mom called from downstairs and asked me to come help her. I called back down. "Okay, 1 second." Mike tossed a couple of collector's comics onto the floor. "Bring me a root beer on your way back up." "Dude, I'm not your butler." He then looked at me with his stupid grin. "Your mom said she bought them for me and to ask you when I wanted one." Knowing my mom, she meant for Mike to ask me where they were, not for me to fetch one for him, but he wasn't worth getting into an argument with, whatever. After helping my mom downstairs, I opened my bedroom door and watched Mike throw my Nintendo Switch onto the floor. "What the hell, man?" I screamed as I picked up the Switch. I had spent a whole year going door to door asking neighbors if they needed their grass cut, dog walk, kids babysat, anything and everything I could do in order to earn cash. I desperately wanted a Switch, but my mom was weird about buying me video games and always insisted that I had to buy them myself. I worked during record-breaking heat waves, cut my hands while helping on a farm, and got kicked so hard between the legs by one brat I was babysitting that tears came to my eyes. I literally gave my blood, sweat, and tears for this thing, and I've had it for only 2 weeks. Now, part of the outer casing was popped off, and one of the Switch knobs felt loose. I was shaking at this point and turned to Mike. "I hid this in my dresser, trying to sniff my underwear, freak. Not my fault. Your room is boring as hell, and that thing didn't work anyway." "No, it worked fine. Now it's busted because you suck at video games and threw it on the ground." My mom opened my door. "What on earth are you two yelling about?" I held up my Switch because Mike's an idiot and broke my Switch. Mike held up his hands and said innocently, "I said I was sorry." My jaw dropped. My mom spoke up before I got another word in. "We do not name call in this household, young man, and if Mike said he's sorry, then he's sorry. Now you two wash up for dinner." Mike flashed me an evil grin after my mom turned away. At that point, I lost it. "Stop smiling, you fucking asswipe." The second I heard my mom say my full name, I knew I was cooked. 20 minutes later, I could hear laughter from downstairs while I sat in my room with my stomach growling. There was a knock on my door, and then my older brother John came in. He smiled and pulled out a takeout bag from McDonald's from behind his back. "I got off work early. Guess it's a good thing I decided to surprise you with leftover nuggets. Thanks." Though my stomach was grateful, I still felt angry. John knew how Mike was, but even he was surprised at how that afternoon turned out after I finished explaining what had happened. I popped the last nugget in my mouth as I said, "It makes no sense. If I do something wrong, I'm grounded for a week, or Mom tries to starve me for the night. And what happens to Mike? Nothing. I just wish that jerk would get what he deserves at least once." John was quiet, then asked, "Where's the Switch?" I fished it out from my trash can and handed it to him. John carefully pushed the pieces back into place, but I shook my head. "I tried that. It doesn't work right anymore." And when I tossed it in the trash can, everything popped out again. John smiled at me. Perfect. I was confused, but he didn't let me ask questions. Instead, he went back downstairs, taking the broken Switch with him. John didn't mention the Switch again until just after Christmas. I was lying in bed, staring angrily at the ceiling. Mike texted me on Christmas to brag about the brand new Switch he'd gotten. The jerk had broken the Switch I worked my butt off for, and then got one for nothing. As I was stewing in my anger, my brother dropped a present onto my chest. "Happy late Christmas." I opened it to find a Switch crammed into a cereal box. "You bought me one?" John shook his head. "Saving for a car, remember?" I snuck into Mike's room while delivering Christmas goodies to our aunt and traded his Switch for the one he busted. I knew his mom would buy it because she asked me what to get him the same night he busted yours. Ironic, right? A week later, Mike threw the broken Switch after struggling to get it to work properly, making it even more broken than before. His mom saw and decided he didn't need a replacement until he worked on his anger issues.